I feel like the best way to do that is just talk about it because it's nothing that you can easily transition to. For one, our prayers are out to everyone who was affected by it. But yeah, Nashville got hit on Christmas morning by a RV that had
full of explosives. It seemed like
full of explosives.
There's some debate. I did see a couple of clips today, though, that there was some debate, I guess, whether or not the explosion was in the RV or next to it. But regardless, it revolved around the RV. So
no matter what, it was still the RV, and people, from everything that we can see right now, it was in the RV. For as we know right now, everything was in the RV. I think there's 5 people in the hospital, but no one's killed from this.
That was a miracle because they had a shots fired call. So police responded to that, and then people started calling 911 and saying that it's like this burn mark on the table. You know, surprisingly, it doesn't bother me.
It was recorded. That's what matters. It's hot. Don't touch it.
Are you serious right now? I'm afraid it's gonna melt through the table. Here's what gets me: is what is the motive of this guy that set the bomb? Because it just seems so suspicious. 911 calls of shots fired in the area. Police responded, and then people were telling them that this RV is driving around saying, "Get out of the area if you can hear this." And so here's all these police responding and evacuating people, and the bomb explodes, and miraculously, no cop was killed.
Fire medical signal 10.
I just wonder, like, what is the motive of this guy? Like, what was his target? It was warning people to get out of the area. Like, it's crazy.
So my idea of it, and I know the comment section is going to go crazy over this, and I do apologize, but this is what I think. And we even talked to a fellow ex-cop, and we got some opinions from him that I don't know if we're going to talk about. But my personal opinions on this is that what ended up happening was there was a 2-man job. There's one to set the bomb there, and then try to get everyone away from that area, and another bomb to go off somewhere else. Because anytime that you kind of lead cops to an area, especially a bomb threat on a holiday, that's going to get everyone there and evacuating everything else. But if that's a decoy for something else that goes on somewhere else in the city, because this is where the RV was. It was by the AT&T building. And
is he targeting AT&T?
We're definitely going to talk about the person's idea of it. But I think it was a 2-man job, and someone chickened out or someone couldn't fulfill the final part. I think that's what ended up happening. And then what's your theories on it?
My initial take was that maybe it was a target on police because Nashville was one of those cities like Minnesota that had a lot of police-involved shootings. And there were a lot of incidents this year, clashes with protesters and police. So I kind of thought that maybe it was a target on police. Maybe it was somebody that was pissed off with police that were trying to get them in the area, knowing they would try to evacuate people and then set off the bomb. It's strange. And then they found remains. Allegedly, it's the guy that lived at the residence with the RV. Did you see that article this morning where the girlfriend came out and said that she reported this to police earlier, that he was building a bomb?
No. Okay, and for everyone to know, this is today is the 30th, so tomorrow is New Year's Eve. When we're receiving this information,
yeah, so it might change by the time we publish it tomorrow or the next day.
Literally, someone could go out right now and say differently on everything that happened. But no, I have not seen any reports on the girlfriend saying, but we did get calls saying that there was a bomb before it was even set. Like, people notified the cops about this. I didn't know it was a girlfriend, but there are reports that stated that people
and there's
were
video. There's video now on the city cams with audio, and you can hear the voice saying, "If you hear this, evacuate now."
You can hear this message. Evacuate now. Hear this message. Evacuate
That's so
now.
weird. That's like something out of a movie.
Like The Purge?
Yeah.
Evacuate now. Stay clear of the vehicle. Stay clear of the vehicle. Do not approach this vehicle. Your minor offenses. Evacuate now.
And this is the RV itself saying this.
I think, for one, there was so much proof of people saying that they warned the police beforehand. But isn't that terrifying? Because I'm not trying to go back to a 9/11 situation, but look at 9/11. There was tips. Tips were getting sent off left and right of the incidents that were about to happen. No one listened. And that's the same thing with this. People were saying something was going to happen. Nothing happened.
And on 9/11, they were doing training exercises. The Air Force, the military. I mean, they had all kinds of terrorist training stuff going on that morning. That's a lot of the reason for the initial hesitation on the response, because they thought, oh, okay, this air traffic, hijacked plane, whatever, this is a part of the exercise. So it's really fishy on 9/11. Like, I still have a lot of question marks when it comes to 9/11. Not saying the government did it, but not saying false flag, but it's just weird. It's like, what are the coincidences of that?
I will state this when we go into 9/11. I don't think it was an inside job, but I do think they were careless. And then with this event coming up, I mean, I will say, once multiple people called in, it was nothing. But now that worries me. What if a bomb was getting put outside of school? Like, the idea of a bomb getting put outside of school, one person calls it because that one person's seen it. Are the police going to take it seriously?
Well, there's a difference. There's a thing called imminent threat in law enforcement. So if there's a general accusation against somebody, they're making bombs or something like that, which I think is very serious. That's kind of a different level of, you have to handle that differently than an imminent threat. We've got a bomb at this place. We're going to blow it up. Now you've got reason to respond and try to see if there's a bomb at that location. But I was reading this article by the Tennessean, and they said the girlfriend in August reported that he was making a bomb in his RV, told police. They came to his residence, knocked on the door. He didn't respond. The only thing they noticed was a bunch of security cameras around the residence. So without anything else to go on, they have no evidence in front of them of a crime occurring. They didn't feel comfortable breaching entry because it would be a warrant situation. They turn it over to the FBI. They said that they don't have any record of ever receiving the report. And police said, no, we turned it over because we couldn't get in. You'd have to have a warrant issued. But they left that to the FBI, allegedly. And nothing happened. And this was back in August when everything was really popping.
See, I think, for one, someone's covering their own. Like, it's that simple. It's not a situation where it's like, oh, no, they accidentally No, they're either the cops are trying to cover for themselves and it got filed, or the FBI threw it in the trash and went, and this is nothing to worry about. And now that came up and they're like, no, we never received it from your department. So I think no matter what, someone's definitely trying to cover their own on it. And it's impossible for it just to go missing. Like, stuff like that doesn't just go missing, because a security department should not be higher trained in making copies and paper and digital.
That's fishy as hell. Like,
yeah, so something definitely happened there. Someone's just trying to say, oh, no, they're pointing the finger. That's what I believe that's going on. But we did talk to an ex-law enforcement officer for 9 years. He's been on the force. He's served our military. He's a volunteer firefighter. We're not going to say names because we never asked him about it.
Yes, shout out Mr. M.
Okay.
We can give him
His name was Derek, but okay. No, it wasn't. No.
Well, it's better than Big D. I mean, I could call him Big D, but I don't think it's beyond.
Can we call him Eminem? Can we call him
Eminem? What the hell?
Mr. Eminem? Mr. Eminem's.
Thank you, Mr. M&M's.
Mr. Eminem's.
Mr. Eminem's. So we talked to this guy because we wanted to know his opinions on it, and he kind of said that he thought it it might have been targeted for like the actual building itself with a corporation.
Oh, AT&T.
Yeah.
That
but,
was like the closest, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, it was like right next to the AT&T building. And so he thought maybe that could be the case. Now, obviously, we don't know for sure. I mean, the story needs to
That I
develop
could
more.
understand, though.
Why could you understand that?
Because
It's a
the
phone
blue
company.
ball of death has screwed me over so many times. Crappy coverage, no signal, and then my devices, every time before they crash in the truck, I see this blue ball of death pop up on the screen and then it goes black.
You done talking about your blue balls?
I'm done talking about my blue ball of death. Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, honestly, I think this is truly me. I think there's something more to it. I think it's not over. I think it was kind of a threat that, you know, especially if they did find his remains inside. I think an organization decided this is a threat. This is what we can do with just one person. What could we do with so much more? And I hate to say it, we're down in Arkansas with the family.
Oh God.
And
Yeah, we were in our cabin at the time.
We're in our cabin, and then the next night, or the same day, we're heading back home, and there's a bus stopped in the middle of the road.
Oh, yes.
Honestly, just hearing about the situation, it scared the hell out of me because it was just like.
Yeah, there's like this big bus just stopped in the middle of the road.
And remind you guys, this ain't a city bus. You know, we're out in the middle of nowhere. There's no buses that go through, and if they do, it's one in through the out.
Bus.
And usually they have like lights on top of it to show you like where it's going and stuff like that. This had nothing. It was a blacked out, full ways on outside a gas station in the center of town.
It was strange.
It was definitely the one to make you look, and then you're kind of like, do I call the cops? I mean, but the place they're at. It's the popularest cops. It's the only 24-hour gas station in our town. So, of course, all the cops are there anyway. So, it's like, if something were to happen, the cops are right there. Or they're going to die. I hate to say it. But I feel like there's something more to go on with this. I feel like either we're going to hear more news about it, or it was a man that the blue ball of death disconnected his line right before he said goodbye to his mother, and then she died, you know.
Like, people's motives get so crazy.
Yeah, look at the people attacking the truck drivers when the COVID happened. I mean, what thought process goes through your head with that?
Why would you do that? Do you not realize like those are the people? Yeah, they're bringing your toilet paper. You're pissed that you don't have toilet paper, and then you go attack the truck drivers, but you don't open their doors to get the toilet paper. To be honest, I could understand it more if the drivers were attacked and then they went in the back of the trailer and you see people running with piles of toilet paper. I can at least logically understand how stupid they are.
If you just ride through the trailer. But this is the worst part, guys. They were literally attacking the truck drivers, pouring them out, beating the crap out of them. The trailer was left alone. The trailer, no one did anything with the trailer.
No.
Because this is the excuse I've heard from several people is why they didn't go for the trailer. They are not criminals. They do not steal. They don't believe in thievery.
Dumbass.
My thing is, if something like that's going on, no one's going to care about the thing that's getting brought out of the truck, okay? There could have been I'm not saying this to do this, guys, but I am saying, if you're going to do a crime, do it right, you know. Take the laptops in the back or whatever's in the back. I mean, you could get lucky and be like me and Brittney to be like, oh, yeah, the one load we had, it was like scrap paper in a bunch of shady neighborhoods. And it's like, if someone breaks into our trailer, and it's like, if someone breaks into the trailer, they're going to be disappointed.
It's like, you really want it? Go get it. Doors are open. Have at it.
The worst part is we had a high security lock on that trailer, the boot. That was the worst part. They made us put a high quality lock on it.
Shreds of like
shredded
recycled paper.
It was one of the dumbest things I could say that I've seen while we've been out, but yeah, the world's crazy. If you're that crazy person, just stop. Stop.